Hello, my name is Leanne. I'm a junior at Silver Rock University, and I was the runner-up in both the indoor pentathlon and outdoor heptathlon this year in the PSAC Championship. I came to EntryPoint rehab for a shoulder injury, and I stayed to increase my performance.
Obviously, like when you came here, you have been an athlete all your life. You've dealt with injury before, but this time something was a little bit different. You tried other things. What all had you tried before you came to see me here?
First, I went to my athletic trainers, used the resources I had, and we went through processing. We evaluated my shoulder 3 different occasions because nothing was working. So originally I was told I had bicep tendinitis. It was a rotator cuff issue, and it was both, or I strained it. So I was told all of that, and then it got to a point where my athletic trainer was like, at this point, we just need to go to see a doctor. So I went to a sports doctor, and they evaluated it and was like, it seems like a tendon tear, or it was a labrum tear. And they were offering a lot of different specialties to go to.
Injections, did they talk about?
No, they talked if it didn't get better, an MRI, and if there was a tear, surgery. I did not want surgery. I knew that was out of the question, so we were going to our next option, and we kind of asked around because a few of my friends had injuries and kind of where they went, and a few people brought up EntryPoint, and we were like, let's give it a try. So that's what brought us here.
So then you ended up here. From day one, did you know it was going to be a little bit different, or like walk through the process of being an athlete and getting care here?
It was definitely, when I got here, I didn't know what to expect. And I think that on the first day, you kind of laid out everything and helped me understand it. And I think my biggest concern was, will I be able to do this, keep training, and not have to stop training because I was about to start competing. I think that you definitely laid out how the whole program was going to work, which was very helpful. And you worked very well with me being at college all the time. So I thought that was very helpful as well.
Which is good. And that was the whole idea is, when you came to me, we were kind of in this quandary of, well, I get to have you, but not really. And for a lot of places, that's a huge obstacle. But because of the way that we do things, I mean, I don't just treat people in person. I mean, I have clients that I almost never get to meet. I've had the pleasure of getting to have you in person, but it worked kind of in this hybrid model where I was able to have you in, but then it still was feasible and functional for me to give you things, work with you. And we even met remotely a couple of times. It was at least a 50-50 split. And it just goes to show that that can be doable.
Yes.
I mean, even for you, yes, you're a very highly talented athlete, but was it something that you felt like you were able to manage given the resources that we were providing for you? And you said it meshed well with your college experience as well.
Yes. It definitely helped a lot. And I think something that was hard, that I was scared I was going to struggle with, was how am I going to do this with being in practice and like having a busy schedule outside of track and outside of rehab. I didn't know how they were going to mesh. And I think you gave me a perfect program that like fit right into like my open spaces and the time that I can go and get like the proper tools to do rehab. And I thought that was awesome.
And that was the whole goal, was to build you something. It's kind of something that we try and make a priority, is that I understand from having been an athlete what it's like to try and fit all those boxes together. And I think sometimes when you go to the more traditional route, there isn't really any of that communication, or they try to, but they really can't.
Yes.
And they can't really offer you that when you're in school. Plus, when you're at school, your athletic trainers are great, but they have to work with all these other athletes at the same time. They don't really get the opportunity to just focus on you. So being able to have me come in with a program that not only meshed with what they were already doing, but wove in between and still gets to give you the focus while still relying on some of their skills, I thought that was really cool. And it gave us an opportunity to really test that system out. And so now we know for sure it definitely works and it can be done. It's been very fun to actually have a high level athlete like yourself in season that we can kind of see changes. And, that kind of leads us into, as we progressed forward, when did you first start to notice things were different? When did things really kind of start to turn? What was the process like as you got better and better?
I definitely noticed a difference when we started throwing shot put more. I know my injury wasn't from shot put and it was from javelin, but javelin and shot put have the same like lower leg and like kind of movements in a sense. And I noticed that like a lot of the movements I was doing to help my shoulder also correlated to shot put. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, doesn't seem like it was going to help at all. And I noticed a huge difference in honestly overall, all my events, like I noticed a difference in just having more like kind of like more control. I feel like every exercise you gave me kind of correlated to something in all of my events.
Which is cool. I mean, you don't ever, they talk a lot about sport specificity and like, you don't necessarily want to train that way. That you want what you're doing at your time in the weight room to translate, yes, but picking exercises that are like, oh, I want to do this because it's just like the thing you're doing, that doesn't work. But the cool thing is when you can have a system that then starts to show itself in your motions. I mean, I thought it was really cool. I remember when you texted me, you're like, I'm like running and jumping better. What is going on here? You're like, we're working on my shoulder and I'm throwing better. And like, I remember the first time you threw and it didn't really hurt, which was awesome. But then you're like, but I'm also jumping better somehow. Like,
no, I definitely felt like it helped with explosivity and stuff. So that like it was very interesting to see how like we were doing shoulder stuff and like I was more explosive, and that comes from my legs.
And how all of it pairs together. And that's kind of the whole idea, is that when I put these programs together, we try and look at the whole process, not just the one piece. And I think that sometimes other places miss out on that, in that they don't fully get that. And not that they don't mean to, it's just they don't get the opportunity. So obviously, we've kind of talked about how the process was and everything. And then, of course, it all culminated in the all-important medals that are now being demonstrated, which super cool. Team all-around first, and then runner-up for both the pent and the hep. And it's only junior year. So that begs the question, what are our goals for next season? I mean, hopefully you won't necessarily need me from the rehab standpoint. Obviously, like we talked about, I will always be here and happy to have been a part of the process, journey, whatever it can be. Still going to be cheering for you regardless. What are our goals for next year?
Definitely this summer is to just kind of work on my explosiveness, work on my speed. And then I'm hoping next year for indoor, I'm hoping to get the indoor record, which I'm 400 points behind it. So it's definitely doable.
It's very doable.
And I'm hoping to go to nationals for hopefully both indoor and outdoor. If not, I would really love to go to nationals for outdoor.
I don't see a world where that is not going to happen. I mean, the way that you've trained, and even just in the short span that the last 3-4 months that I've been able to know you and work with you, the way you approach it is that's the way a hyper-focused, high-level athlete does things, and you approach everything you do that way. So I don't think there's any shot that you're not going to get there. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And I'm going to be really excited to be watching very quietly in the back, seeing you succeed. So I'm really excited about it. I guess we'll wrap it up with, why should an athlete, whether they're in college, even if it's remote, why should an athlete pick us for whether it be rehab or performance or both?
I feel like with rehab, a lot of places kind of just like focus on that area. And I feel like here you did focus on working with my shoulder. But like I said earlier, the exercise you gave me, the movements you gave me didn't just help my shoulder. It correlated to more things with my sport. And actually like I benefited more than just from like healing my shoulder. Like I benefited like from improving like my explosivity and just kind of like being able to honestly work my upper body with my lower body. And I feel like a lot of the movements you gave me kind of helped that.
Well, good. And that's kind of the idea at the end of the day, is to make everything better, not just one thing.
Yes.